Hello, I believe we are live. Welcome one, welcome all. It feels like it's been a long time. Oh, I also realised I've just got rid of the countdown. I didn't do a countdown. I didn't know if it was particularly necessary. I just jumped straight on and hope. Oh, look, I can see the moon straight out my window. Welcome, one, welcome all. We have Tina Davis is here, Corinne's here, Selena. Hi, Gabrielle. Very nice to say that. Holly. Hi, Annie Brown. Welcome. Hello. It has been ages. Has it been ages? I guess it has. I'm really sorry about that. I'll explain why. But welcome, thanks for joining. We've got Paul Rudd, we've got HW, we've got 345 Berry, we've got Selena Lou Fogg, all the greats in tonight. And how are we all? Firstly, what's new? Oh, I don't know. The variant. Not now, variant. Not now. I'm so sorry that it has been some time. That I, to be honest, I've been away this week, which I'll explain all about. And we had some good news in the family, so I will share that good news with you. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you probably already know that. And to be honest, I've just felt a bit down. I just thought, I can't really be bothered. I know that sounds awful. I need a bit of a break. I haven't been doing particularly loads. I went into a little bit of a mental spiral the other day, which involved a bit of a mental breakdown in the middle of Doncaster train station. But we're over it. We're past it now, just in time for the variant to come around the corner and wham, bam. So I hope you're all well. We're all annoyed by the variant 345 Berry. Hi Francoise, hi HW, hi Paul Rudd, hi Sarah Parsons, Sarah Fox. I hope we're all well. I have been in London, weirdly, this week. London, tier 4. I got back actually on Thursday, I believe, or Wednesday. So I was meant to be going to London for work, and it was all happy. I was booked to do some work in London. I was meant to be doing warm-up on Dancing on Ice because they were pre-recording the pro skate numbers. So like in Strictly, I'm just sorting out this hair, what's going on? Like in Strictly, they pre-record the pro dances, the group, before they go live. And so they were going to have an audience for it. It was all very up in the air. Then it fell through as I was on my way to London. So I was there. And then when I arrived in London, they decided to put it into tier 3. Because when I got to London, I was like, well, you know what? I'm here now. I travelled here for work. It was all fine. And then when I arrived, they were like, by the way, in a day or so, you're going into tier 3. So I was like, okay, can't do. I was just looking forward to maybe going inside a restaurant. But I was more upset because the work got cancelled, and I really wanted to do Dancing on Ice just to say I've done it. But also it just felt, I just knew that it was going to feel like a little bit of normality. And also money. I'm going to be completely honest. So that fell through, and they don't have an audience anymore, which is fine. It is what it is. And so I was then in London, came back, and then what the hell? There's a strain of a bloody new variant going around. Not particularly ideal, is it? #variant, #not now variant. So yesterday the news was just, I don't know what it was. What was it about that press conference and I've been really reflecting on this, and I kind of think that maybe, and write in the comments if you have a theory, because I would love to know, but I wonder whether maybe, how it was coming to the end of the year, we were coming to Christmas, and I think as humans, or especially as Brits, we kind of compartmentalize things all the time, don't we? So whenever we have a year, we're like, oh, Easter, and that marks something, and then we go summer, and then we're like, you know, autumn or Halloween, for example, and then Christmas, and then New Year. Everything's kind of milestoney. And it definitely felt like, even though deep down we knew that this was going to go on into 2021, it definitely felt like it was like, oh, okay, this isn't even going away anytime soon. And it was almost like we'd been kidding ourselves mentally for quite some time, that all of a sudden it just went bam. Don't think that when 2021 comes, COVID's going to go, right, well, that's my shift over. See you later, guys. It was a fun one, wasn't it? And Kim says, I can't believe how we are still in this hell. I know. I just think it's kind of made... It's just made everyone realise, like, oh God, we're still on this journey. Gabrielle, not only has Boris made another U-turn, he's left us isolated at Christmas and in a state of fear. Why can't the government ever show leadership? I feel really scared as I live in Kent. Gabrielle, I am so annoyed at this government. And I'm annoyed at individuals who are then putting blame and shame onto individuals and not redirecting that anger at the government. The government at the start of this pandemic told us to stay in, and we did. The majority of people did their thing. They strictly follow the rules. There was barely anyone breaking them. Towards the end, as we were coming out of it, okay, we were told to eat out to help out. We were told to help the economy. We were said it was our moral duty to do that, okay? We had to keep things moving. We did that. Then we were told, and not only were we told to do that, we were incentivized to do that by having half price up to £10 per meal off. Like we were, there was a fiscal incentive to do that. Stacey Randall, I'm going to pause this rant for Stacey Randall. You are very kind. You are like so generous, Stacey Randall. So thank you very much. You've just sent a super chat, super sticker, and you're very kind. Thank you so much, Stacey. And don't worry about me going live. Sorry that I've been away for so long. So they incentivized us to do that. We did it. Then they told us off for it. And then they're telling us to do this. Then they're going, no. A few days ago, they were absolutely telling us categorically that Christmas would not be changed, that the rules were going to remain the same. And then they waited till the last minute when people's bags were packed. And the fact of the matter is, you know, I kind of like Chris Whitty. He's doing a good job-ish. Is he? We don't even know anymore. I don't know what to believe. But the fact that he turned around to someone and said, well, unpack. I'm sorry. You have to... It's such a scientific view. You have to realise people are so over it. And not over it as in, like, they don't care. But they're just disillusioned because of the government's failure. And I just feel like everything is now too little, too late. And there needs to be a huge kind of regime change with this government. And the fact that people are not being angry at the government, but they're being angry at someone going home to see their family at Christmas from a tier 4 area. What do they expect that they're going to do? Seriously? Do they really think 6 days was it before? That people are just going to not go home to their family as originally planned? I think it's ludicrous. Some will, and if they do, respect that so much. Well done. But what do they expect? The only good thing I think can come from this is the people that were a little bit anxious and were a bit like, oh, I don't really want to say don't come over for Christmas, but okay, I'm not going to say it, but I still feel a bit anxious. I think the only good thing has come that those that were feeling anxious and didn't really want someone round but didn't have the heart to tell them has now had it said for them. Okay? Yeah, it's just horrendous. Tina, I just feel deflated this weekend. I was only going to be in my bubble anyway, but oh my God, right on top of... I know, it's such bad timing. Boris is such a jerk. He's such a jerk. Dragon Rose, I'm so sorry that you did not get a notification from YouTube. I'm going to write to the CEO and say, listen, you better start notifying my subscribers that I'm going live. Cheers, everyone. Don't feel the same here in Scotland. We've always been advised not to meet up unless necessary. We go back into Tier 4 Boxing Day. We just came out of it on the 11th of December, says Laura. Francoise, people's mental health is going through the roof. I'm going to say I despair, and I'm not blaming anyone. I'm like, do you know what? Go and do what you're doing. It's nothing to do with me anymore. It is nothing to do with us. The government, honestly, I cannot comprehend how terrible they've been. And I've got friends in New Zealand and in Australia, and they're having a whale of a time. And I'm just like, I can't believe it. And not only that, do you know what? They don't just go, guys, we are struggling, we need your help. They're like, yeah. And what I will say is because they're all so bothered about keeping their jobs in the long run, and they're so bothered about power, and they don't care. The tier system, says Dragon Rose, is just not working. Mental health. I'm so sorry to hear that 345 Berry and so many others of you. I'm in the same boat. I am going to do a live, like Nadia and Mark. I'm going to do a live on Christmas Day. My grandma chose not to come on Christmas Day, so she's decided. She is in our support bubble, so she would have been allowed, and we're actually at tier 3. But she has decided not to do it. She actually made that decision before the whole tier 4 system, because I think on the news and stuff, she just thought it's not going to happen. So it's just me and my parents, because my sisters live away, and, well, not away, but they don't live in this house. So we are going to be, I'm going to be doing a live. I'm going to warn you, I'll probably be drunk. I've scheduled it for around 5 p.m. I'm probably going to be drunk, but it's going to be a Christmas party. And to be honest, it'll be a Christmas party to remember. So if you're on your own, or you're a little bit bored because you're only in the house with someone else or a couple of other people, and you just feel like you want to get away, then join us on the live. It's already scheduled, okay? So you can set yourself a reminder or pop a reminder in your phone or whatever. You can come. We have no format. It might be chaotic. I might even have a game of Match Me If You Can. Okay? And I think we'll just have a laugh. We'll drink and be merry and gay. Okay? So that's going to be on Christmas Day. And nearer the time, I'll put a post of what time it will be. Joe Wright says, I'll tune in on Christmas Day. It'll be 10 a.m. here, but I'll probably be drunk too. Joe Wright, the terrible thing is, it'll be 5 p.m. here, and I will probably have been drinking since 10 a.m. So God knows. I might just be like, I might come on the live, and then like it'll count down, and then it'll just be me like, but I will try to be compos mentis. Terry W, welcome. I've not seen you loads here before, so welcome if you're a newbie. My mental health was so bad before PTSD and anxiety and depression. All mental health depression topped with everything since March. Been told back on waiting list for therapy. Oh my God, Terry, I went to therapy last year. Actually, I was in therapy this time last year. God, if I'd known now what was coming, I would have probably saved my slots. And it's just great. It's literally like having a massage for the mind. So I really hope you get there soon, Terry. Sending you lots of love. Tina Davis, Lee will be under the table. I probably will be. Holly says, I'll catch the record. The hubby is home from work at 5 p.m, so we'll have him some food together. Hope you all. Holly, what does your husband do? What? I'm always intrigued to know, because I know obviously loads of people work on Christmas Day, but I'm always intrigued like, ooh, what's the job? That means you're working on Christmas Day. Gabrielle, Dancing on Ice is still going ahead, but there's no audience. So that was why I was a little bit, Oh my God, Francoise! Oh my God, I'm going to call it Lee's Support Bubble Live. Lee's Support Bubble. That's what I'm going to call it. I was thinking, what shall I call it? And it was like Lee's Christmas Party. It's like, oh yeah, boring. Oh, I'm going to call it Lee's Support Bubble. Oh yeah, really good. Oh, I'll drink bubbles. I'll drink champagne. Bubbles and bubbles. Bubbles squared. Oh, we're just spitballing here, guys. Dancing on Ice is having an audience. So, fingers crossed it might come back, because there's a main guy who does it. He's amazing. He's called Stuart. So I was just covering for him. He obviously couldn't do the days. And then it got cancelled. So I was just very sad about that, because also it meant that, I don't know, just getting booked for the job meant it was like, oh, it's coming back. And that's what sent me in Doncaster, right? So I'm travelling back from London, and I had to change at Doncaster. And I read that Mary Poppins was returning on the West End in May. And I was like, and I text my friend who actually runs a theatre in the West End. And I said, oh, do you know if this is socially distanced or not? Will it not be socially distanced? Because I thought most of the theatres won't want to open unless they're to capacity. He said, we don't know. We've not been told that social distancing will end then. And I just then Googled social distancing. Don't know why. It's like, honestly, it's like the equivalent of Googling your symptoms these days, isn't it? So I Googled social distancing, and I saw something by Chris Whitty about social distancing, and someone had just said, and it might have been on the off-the-cuff thing, but about it being till next winter. And I feel like, for me, with my normal job at Loose, and this is not gospel, but it's just the way I feel. But I just, in my head, I thought, I can't see it returning until social distancing is finished. And for me, I was just like, oh my God, that's so long. Please don't be that long. And I just spiraled. Like, I remember being sat in the waiting area of Doncaster Station just crying. I mean, I couldn't work out whether it was because I was in Doncaster. No offence to anyone who's from there. But yeah, it was just all hit me. And then so I didn't feel as bad when the Tier 4 announcement came. One, because selfishly I'm not in Tier 4. And two, I kind of had already had the breakdown a couple of days before. Listen, Selena, don't panic. You know when I said that about social distancing, it probably won't. It's probably one of those quotes, but I just read it. I happened to stumble across it, and it sent me into a spiral of doom. Just like the bloody... Oh, Holly says we're an NHS family. He works in a neurological operating theatre. Holly, I'm having a drink to you guys. Cheers. An NHS family. Christ, Holly, this must have been hard for you guys. Run off your feet, working all the time. I just don't know how you've done it. I mean, I've sat here moaning because I've got nothing to do. But I guess it's all relative, isn't it? You know, my friend was moaning about something the other day. And, you know, they've had a relatively easy lockdown. And she then started feeling guilty as she moaned. And I just said, it's all relative, you know. Yes, there's always someone worse off. But that's like saying to someone who's broke their leg, oh, it could be worse. You could have been born with no legs. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that doesn't help the person at the time. Pain and anguish and feeling sad about things are immeasurable. And yes, you're very easy to compare, but it's just kind of shutting people down. But yeah, I do often think, Christ, like, how have you guys done it? Absolute bloody heroes. Laura says it's only natural to feel down about things. Well, one thing I didn't feel down about was my new nephew. Yes, my sister decided in 2020, during a global pandemic, to have a baby. So we have a new nephew in the family. My first nephew, I have a niece, but now we have a little boy in the family. So he was born last week, and he's all very well and all very good. Yeah, so it's good news. Oh, thank you. Everyone's saying congratulations. Yeah, it's nice. It was one of those weird things where I was looking at it and I was just thinking, God, you have no idea what's going on right now. And thank God, when you're older, this will not be happening. But yeah, we have a little boy in the family, and his name, yes, Laura, I'm pretty sure I can share his name. His name is Parker. Parker. Which I love. I love that name. You know, one of those names that you've, like, never heard of, but you just love it. You're like, oh, I was like, oh, I kind of wanted to know. I kind of want that as, I want to be called Parker. I remember thinking, I want to be called Parker, although then I'd be called Parker Peart, and that probably sounds a little bit like Peter Parker. His name's not Parker Peart, but his name is Parker. So yes, thank you. Yeah, it's a great name. Joe Wright said, ooh, from Thunderbirds. Well, that's so funny because my dad told my grandma that and said, oh, from Thunderbirds. My grandma went, I don't watch it. My sister was like, we didn't call him that from Thunderbirds. We just like the name Parker. Francois says, what would you like Parker to call you, Lee? Oh, good question. Well, my little niece calls me Lily, Uncle Lily. So I'm assuming he will call me that unless anything has changed since then. My poor niece. Oh my God. It was so funny. I'm sure my sister won't mind me sharing this story, but last week or the week before, they arranged for Santa to come to the end of the drive and do like a Santa visit. Really cute. And I used to work in Lapland, so, I'm best mates with Santa. So Hallie was like the first to ring me and be like, Santa's here, Santa's here. And he came to the drive, gave him a present or gave him chocolate or whatever. Anyway, it was all happy, happy, lovely, lovely. Anyway, so, and it's been hard for all the kids this year. So then my sister was like, right, well, let's arrange another surprise doorstep, driveway visit. Who should we get? So they decided to get the Grinch. I don't know why. Hey, Kirsty Jane. I don't know why, but they got the Grinch. And it didn't really go to plan. It absolutely terrified my little niece. And quite horrific, to be honest. She was screaming, go away! She was absolutely... Because he made a jump as well. And I said, Eloise, what were you thinking? A bright green, And I was trying to reason. Because then what happened... She's 6, Maria Joy. Then what happened is... at the same time, and I didn't know this was happening, but I FaceTimed Hallie because Santa had come near the house where I was. So I thought, I'll FaceTime her and say Santa's outside our house. So I ring up and this was the aftermath of the Grinch just coming. She was in floods of tears, having an absolute meltdown. And I was going, guess who's just been outside my house? Santa. And she was like, the Grinch is outside us. And I was like, oh, bad timing. Kim says, my neighbour has the Grinch come and visit. The thing is, the Grinch is good in the end. He's a good guy. He's misunderstood. It's all the people, if you watched the film, it's all the people of the residents of the village that bully the Grinch. The moral of that film is people shouldn't bully. Was funny though, wasn't it? It was funny. So, how are we all? Is anyone in tier 4? Who's in tier 4? Anyone? Selena Lou Fogg's niece loves the Grinch. Is anyone here in tier 4? In fact, write what tier you are in currently, if possible. Gabrielle, you sum it up so well. The government keeps saying by next spring things will be better, but never reveal what the plan is, so who can know? Oh God, there's a lot of tier 4s. Sandra Marshall is, Tina is, Maria is, 345 Berry, Sarah's in tier 2. We can only dream of tier 2. Dragon's in tier 2. Mandy Nanny 3, 4. Oh, Joe Wright's whole family in England just went to tier 4. Bless them. Diane's in tier 2, 3, 2. Any tier 1s? I bet tier 1 people can't even bring themselves to tell people the tier 1. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? If I was in tier 1 right now and people were like, what tier are you in? I'd be like, oh, I think it's 2. Could be 3. And then afterwards I'd be like, I'm in tier 1. I'm in tier 1. Tier. I'm in tier 1. But I wouldn't want to be like, yeah, you'd have tier envy. Hashtag tier envy. Oh my God, Tina Davis, it is like a game show. It's like, what is it? Call and response. Hands up if you're a tier 2. Put your hands up, tier 2s. Woo! Can I hear all my tier 3s in the house? Oh, no, I can't. You shouldn't be in the house. It's ludicrous. What has this year become? What has this year become? I'm losing the will to live. Also, you may have noticed, if you do follow me on social media, when I was in London, lasted 38 days, but I started drinking again. 38 days I lasted without a drink, okay? I was pretty proud of myself. And then what I decided to do is I just decided to get drunk. And I had tequila, I had white wine, I had gin and tonics. I went full throttle. I should have taken it easy and gone, ease your way back into it. No, I didn't. I didn't at all. But I'm very pleased that I lasted 38 days. We are moving up levels. What are we going to win at the end of it? Lol, another lockdown, Francois says. Oh my God, yeah. You win another lockdown. You win a half an hour walk in a local park. No more. No more than half an hour. Go and take your walk. I saw a thing where it was like tier 5 is going to be like, you can't even look out the window. Thanks. I love 345 Berry. He's very supportive. He's like, that's okay. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that you drank all that. I'm like, thank you, 345 Berry. Thank you for making me feel better about that. Dawn, my mum is in tier 1 and I'm in tier 3. Tempted to just go hide out. Gin fun. Joe Wright, you are too kind. Joe Wright. Had to correct that gun fund. Oh my God, don't. I'm worried about civil war. But thank you, Joe Wright. Thank you. That's very kind of you and very generous. I can't believe I've just said the sentence, I'm worried about civil war. What is 2020 going on? Kim, do you think we are all going to be in tier 4 in the next couple of weeks? Oh my God, Melanie B. Where have all the turkeys gone? That is to someone in the comments called Melanie B. I'm not talking about the Spice Girl. Where have all the turkeys gone? Now, we've had a little bit of a heated debate in our household because I said this year, do we have to have turkey? Do we have to have turkey? It is dry. It's not that nice. And everyone just does it because it's tradition. And I thought, it's me, mum and dad this year. Are we that bothered? Even as kids, I never was like, oh, please, we have to have turkey. So, but even now, I was like, well, we don't really have to have turkey, do we? And we had a chicken dinner the other day, chicken roast, and I thought it was so much nicer. So I was trying to convince them to do chicken. No, apparently it's not tradition. We've got turkey. So we had a little bit of a. But what about you? Do you veer off from tradition, or are you a stickler for what you know? Kim, no one died from not having turkey. I know, honestly, and I was saying to them, I was going to mum and dad. But the thing is, if we prefer the chicken, I think we'll have a nice day. And they weren't having it. No, turkey's been had. We got the turkey. Turkey always makes you. Apparently, there's a chemical in turkey that makes you sleepy as well. So it always makes you sleepy. You pass out and it's in a quality street. Not me though, because I'm going to be live at 5 on Christmas Day. Oh my God, I thought that was like a massive hole in my jumper then. I always have turkey and ham Chinese as evening. Turkey and ham Chinese on Christmas Day. Unheard of. Getting turkey crown but a small leg of a lamb. Guess what I'm going to do on Wednesday? Well, hopefully. And I'm going to film it. I'm going to make a vlog. I have decided to make, or try and make, a beef Wellington. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm not the best cook. And when I say I'm not the best cook, oh, it was a typing error, Laura. I was going to say, I didn't really want to judge you then, but I was like, Chinese on Christmas Day. I mean, I'm okay with no turkey, but that's taking it a bit too far. I am a cook. I can cook. I just find no enjoyment from it. So I've decided that I'm going to try and follow a Gordon Ramsay recipe of making the perfect beef Wellington. It could go terribly, terribly wrong. And actually, if it does, it will probably be quite funny. So I'm going to vlog it. Me being stressed. I've already got to go out and source the ingredients. So I'm going to go buy the beef, and God knows where I'm going to get a Wellington at this time from. I'm joking. It's not an actual Wellington. So I actually need to look up the recipe and find out what I need to get, because apparently the key is in the preparation. So it could go terribly wrong, and I could just be, Melanie B says, have you got a backup plan? That was just what I was thinking. Perhaps I'll just end up having Baileys instead, because that can be quite filling the more you have of it. Yes. That's going to be happening. Me going to be trying to make a beef Wellington. And then I have lots of plans for the new year for this channel. And I want you guys to get involved as much as possible. I love it when you write your comments. I love it when you join on these lives. These lives are kind of like, I feel like these should be just an offshoot of the channel. So it's just me chatting to you, whatever. Quite like it. But I need to do more content, I've decided. And especially if we're going to be locked down all the time. So Stagey Queens is very much still going to be going ahead. I'm just working out when we can record more and do more. So Kate and I will be doing that. And I'm going to be trying to do lots more vloggy type content. Lee, do it like the Generation game, Tina Davis. It will be hilarious. The thing is, Tina Davis, I'm actually going to try and do it properly. So I'm not going to try and make it too entertaining, because I'll be focusing on that. But I just think it will naturally be entertaining, because I'll probably struggle. Hey, Linda McDermott, and hey, Heather Gunn. And hey to everyone joining. We're just chatting about tears. No more tears left to cry. So yes, look out for that. Lee's Beef Wellington. And yeah, so I'm gonna, any content that you want to suggest, throw it out there. Michael Augustine Reed says, do you want kids? Not right now, but probably one day, Michael. Or is it Michael? You say potato, I say potato. No, I don't. I say potato. No one says potato. The cracks of my tears. Oh, Polly, there's cracks in every bloody tears at the minute, because the government don't know what they're doing. Someone just said, actually, I think it was Gabrielle, do you think people are just going to ignore the rules now? Gabrielle, if I'm honest, I think most people have been ignoring the rules for quite some time, just in their own sly little ways. Most people have given themselves justifications of doing something that are technically against the rules and going, well, no, that's okay. That's okay. You can do that. When they say don't have more than 6 people in the house, if it's 7, people go, well, it's all right. It's only 1 extra. That's okay. That's all right. I'm just like, if you've broken the rules in any way, shape or form during this whole thing, you have no right to have a go at anyone for doing it. And I mean, I know that I had a go at Rita Ora, because I did think it was taking the piss when you have a huge bloody mass gathering. But, I just think people are doing it. I think it's the government at the start. And do you know what? Do you know when I think all the cards started to fall down? When Mr. Dominic Cummings went to visit Barnard Castle. That's what that's when I think it all fell to shit. So, yeah, that's it basically. I went for a walk today, because that's all you could do. And I took some red wine in a little beaker. I just thought, you know what? There are no rules anymore. I'm going to drink in this little beaker my red wine. And if you want to judge me, then go ahead. But I'm going to drink this red wine out of this beaker. Because I am common. basically. At one point, Sarah Fox, I did sit on a bench and drink it, and then I thought, I can't do this. I'm wearing cashmere. This ain't right. I can't sit on a bench and drink red wine. I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been red lightning or whatever they call it. But oh my God, Joe Wright has a bracelet that holds wine. Shut up. The trouble is, I like so much wine, my arm wouldn't be able to lift up. It'd be too heavy. But how'd you do that? How'd you do that? Michael says people here in America are crazy. They don't follow the rules. They think it's infringement on their freedom. Crazy fools. Well, in a way it kind of is. But I suppose it is an infringement on your freedom. But you kind of have to accept it to have more freedom down the line. But yeah, it's that thing. It's people justify it, Michael. And I mean, I guess that is the pitfall of living in a democratic society. Not the pitfall, but I guess that's the trade-off. So I saw pictures of bloody Wuhan the other day. They're all in nightclubs. And I then said to my friend today, I thought, well, do you know what? The reason that we're not is because we don't live in a kind of authoritarian state. And if we did, then we'd probably be out of it all by now. But actually, I'm not sure that I won that trade-off. 345 Berry, thank you. We won't judge you, your lives are the best. Joe Wright, it's a big old bangle that holds about 8 ounces of wine. Oh my God. I hope that said that on the label and you haven't measured it out. You know what my mum used to do? I hope she doesn't mind me saying this. When they used to go and watch the cricket years ago, they weren't allowed to take any alcohol in. So, and all of the soft drinks that they used to take in had to be sealed. So they used to charge an absolute fortune for Pimm's at the cricket ground. So my mum, never one to let someone get one over on her, pierced a tiny hole through this carton of fresh orange juice and then dispensed the fresh orange juice. It took ages. And then through a tiny little funnel, dispensed Pimm's into the carton and then sealed up the carton, and when they inspected it, it looked like the carton had not been opened. So she smuggled in, it was like prohibition, she smuggled in a load of bloody alcohol to watch the cricket to ensure that she didn't have to pay astronomical prices at the bar. She could have done with your bangle, but 8 ounces, I'm not sure would have been enough. Ingenious of your mum, says Sarah Fox. She should be a spy. Oh, she'd love that. She'd love that. She's obsessed with CSI investigative programs. Michael, been tough. I lost my mum to COVID July. My niece was killed by a drunk driver this year. It's been a nightmare. Oh my God, Michael, I'm so sorry. It's hard. He says it's hard to be festive. I'm so sorry to hear that, Michael. It's honestly, I think we're going to look back at this year and just be so reflective and just sad over what it's done to a lot of people. It's just awful. But the positive news is we are near a vaccine. It is pretty much around the corner. My grandma and granddad have actually been vaccinated. Or they've had their first one. So please stay positive. Know that this too shall pass. We will be back to normal life. And how grateful will we be when we are back to normal life? How grateful are we going to be? I text Kay the other day. If anyone watches Loose Women, Kay Adams. And we were chatting about stuff. She's been great. Nadia's been great. Loads of them have been great. But she said something and I said, I cannot wait to be sat round in a group of people, right? Social setting, having a laugh. And I can't wait to go, guys, really random, but do you remember COVID? And everyone go, oh my God, COVID? What made you think of that? COVID? I'd be like, I don't know, it just came in my head. Do you remember it? 2020, COVID. Wasn't it mad? COVID, wasn't it? It was absolutely, oh my God. You weren't born. You weren't born. Oh, you were only 4. You don't know what oh my God, sit down, let me tell you what COVID is. We weren't allowed to leave the house. A 99-year-old man did laps of his garden. That's what COVID was, darling. You haven't seen nothing yet. Do you know what I mean? I just can't wait to be like, do you remember? Do you remember how mental COVID was? But then the sad thing is, you just can't see that end in sight. You can't see when I'm going to say it. But I'm one step closer every day to saying it. Maybe that'll be hashtag remember COVID. I don't think anyone could bloody forget COVID, to be honest. I don't know if anyone could forget COVID. It will be in the history books, Helena. You're right. Maybu, you're so naturally funny. Thank you, Maybu. Very kind. This isn't actually alcoholic either, by the way, if anyone wants to go, oh, you shouldn't be drinking on a live, which I had a couple of months ago. I thought, I'll do what I want. It's my clean gin, which I'm loving. Oh, you know it. You know a glass is good when it makes a... Anyway, I'm definitely acting drunk, but I'm not drunk in the slightest. Although, oh God, yeah, no, I had a bottle of red wine in a park earlier. Forgot. Maybe I'm still a bit drunk. Totally forgot that I just told you that. Oh, maybe it's that. Anyway, good evening, Xander. I'm afraid you've just missed the end of it. I'm about to leave. I hope you're all well. If you've liked this live, then hey, why not pop a little thumbs up? And then after this, or if you're watching this back, please do leave a comment and tell me what you thought. Tell me if it was rubbish if you want. I don't mind. It doesn't hurt me. Polly123 says, what is clean gin? Oh my God, I'm like an advocate of it. It's not a hashtag ad. I'm not big enough to do ads. But it's basically like really low alcohol gin, like 1.2%, 30 or 40 times less alcohol, and you don't get the hangover, but you still get the feeling of having a gin and tonic. So, guys, take care. Sorry that I had a little bit of a time off, but it was a busy time. I'm live on Christmas Day, probably around 5. Support bubble with Lee. So come and join if you want. We can have a bit of a laugh and sing Christmas carols and all that jazz. And I'll probably do a live before then anyway. And then I need to prep to make my beef Wellington on Wednesday, which could go terribly wrong, okay? So take care and I'll see you soon. Bye!